Farmers take care of their animals throughout the animal's lifespan, and that caretaking does not end with the animal's death. Animal mortality is an unavoidable part of livestock production. Farmers who raise animals must have a plan to manage routine animal losses and address potential large-scale mortality events, resulting from animal disease outbreaks or natural disasters. No matter the cause of an animal's death, producers must manage animal carcasses to minimize the risk of diseases present in the decomposing animals being transported to other animals on the farm or other farms. Producers must also consider how to manage carcasses to protect the local water supply and their community's health by preventing contamination from animal carcasses. Typically, burial pits are used to handle carcasses. However, burial, while it is a quick and generally accessible disposal method, may pose a risk to water bodies such as rivers, lakes, and groundwater. Animals release leachate, a mix of water and other fluids, while decomposing. Livestock carcasses contain high amounts of water. Almost 60 to 70% of an animal's weight is water, much of which is released during the first weeks after an animal's death. But if there is too much leachate released in one place too quickly, it will overwhelm the surrounding soil's ability to hold it, and it may end up mixing with ground or surface water. This type of mortality leachate is an environmental concern because leachate can contain pathogens, pharmaceuticals, and high concentrations of nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus, which can deteriorate water quality and ecosystems. Water quality contamination is of particular concern for livestock and rural populations, which draw their drinking water from well water sources. That is why, when a farmer is disposing of their mortalities using burial pits, they have certain best practices to follow. Farmers may consider adding a base layer of highly absorbent material to the burial pit, straw, corn stover, poultry litter, or pruning waste. Constructing the pit over clay or other soils with slow water infiltration. Ultimately, mortality management is all about location. Producers must locate and avoid disposal areas with high water tables to reduce potential leachate in contact with groundwater. If burial is the chosen disposal option, the Nebraska Department of Environment and Energy presents the following burial setbacks guidance. The pile must maintain 5 feet of separation from the bottom of the burial pit to the groundwater table. Carcasses must be covered with at least 4 feet of compacted soil. Burial pits cannot be located within 1,000 feet of a public water supply well or within 500 feet of a domestic well, and must be outside of any wellhead protection areas. Pits must be more than 300 feet from domestic water intakes, streams, creeks, ponds, springs, and lakes, and at least 100 feet from the edge of a significant cut or embankment. Pits must also be at least 500 feet from residences, livestock facilities, and adjacent pastures owned or leased by another person. Finally, pits must be at least 300 feet from a road, 500 feet from a secondary highway, and 1,000 feet from a primary highway. Burial pits pose a potential danger to water sources and must be managed carefully. With the setbacks from waterways and roads required, burial pits may be impractical for many farmers. But fortunately, there is a relatively inexpensive alternative for managing animal mortality on farm. Composting. Composting improves mortality management by transforming decomposing carcasses into a soil amendment more quickly than burial. Join us next time to learn more about mortality management strategies.